saying.
Hey-oh! 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 Where's Emma? Live from America's favorite Woke Data Wednesday. It's Woke Data Wednesday here at Business Pants Junior College. Joined as always by Emma, lurking, and Matt, CFA Podcast Mascardi. I'm $1.27. In today's starch-filled bag of non-competitive nuggets called June 15th, 2022, yet another alternative democracy roundup and yet another anti-woke data roundup from our card-carrying ESG expert. Yeah.
Anti-woke. All right, we got a lot to talk about. So why don't you start us off? What's happening in the alternative democracy so that we bore everyone before they get to my segment?
I gotta tell you, I find this segment thoroughly exhausting. I don't quite know why I do it. Luckily, proxy season's almost over, but once again, I looked
like 200 proxies a day to find something
I
funny.
looked at probably 100, 150 voting filings, and then I dig in and I open proxy. I'm exhilarated at first, but then after a while, I'm like, what am I doing? What is this?
This is your life now.
This is for all you ESG analysts out there. There must be a few listening. Come on. Do me a favor and write some of this into your reports. Here we go. Let's start with Better Choice Company. Remember, all of this is real. All of this is real.
Before we even get into it, why is every company that we cover now sound like Ron Swanson named them?
Part of the reason
Better Choice Company.
Part of the reason why I clicked on this one, I just love that name, Better Choice Company. First of all, in their vote for the auditor, only one abstained. Just one person said, "I don't want to make a choice. I can't make a better choice. I'm not going to make a choice."
Do you think that's a joke?
I don't know. The other thing I wanted to point out was that there's a director named John M. Word III who founded the Word and Brown General Agency. What a boring man. All right, moving on. Spartan Nash. There was a proxy contest at Spartan Nash led by Macellum Advisors. They got 2 directors onto the board, according to a recommendation from ISS. A third, the founder of Macellum, Jonathan Duskin, did not make it. Oh,
wow! They rejected the founder of the company.
He tried to get himself on. ISS was like, get bent.
Wow.
Next Tier Oilfield Solutions. Nothing really going on here, but shout out to their board. This is a company based in Houston, Texas. A lot of companies moving to Texas, Matt. The Chicago Mafia is they're like all leaving and going to Texas. You realize? Caterpillar just announced today they're going to Texas.
I saw Caterpillar's going to Texas.
Shout out to Next Tier Oilfield Solutions. Only a board of 10, only one woman. They've had 7 new appointments since 2018. Only one woman. That's a rarity. Congratulations.
They couldn't find any. Yeah.
Before you get too triggered, don't worry. Amy holds 0 leadership positions. All of the company's top 11 executives are men. So, you don't have to hide those Playboy magazines. It's fine. It's okay. Everything's okay. Willis Towers Watson. Nothing going on here. Matt was talking about some academic research on hard-to-pronounce names in his Nerd Alert segment, so I decided to quickly test the theory on director Fumbi Chima. Matt, your research is right. Fumbi has no leadership positions.
I think it's Fumbi.
See, there you go. Not promotable. She got no power.
Not promotable. Sorry.
Target Corporations. An old white dude named David P. Abney received 99.3% yes votes. Is this the woke backlash everyone's talking about, Matt?
I think, wasn't David P. Abney a character in Life Aquatic?
General Cannabis, the company General Cannabis. Matt, we have another weed company name change.
Oh, I like General Cannabis. That General Cannabis
I do
is
too,
like,
actually.
There's General Electric, there's General Motors. Why can't there be General Cannabis?
And there's I'm generally stoned right now. Shareholders said yes to this new name. It's called, I don't know how you're going to feel about this one, Trees Corporation. Trees.
I don't like it. I like it one bit. Do they chop down trees? Are they landscapers? What is that?
I don't know. I will say this about General Cannabis or Trees Corporation. They voted to hold say on pay votes once every 3 years.
Oh, I mean, every year's hard.
There's no table of contents in their proxy. Both of these
Well,
are
that's new.
proof. Both of these are proof of how lazy weed smokers are. And there's 0 women on the board. Matt, they finally proved your theory that women don't smoke weed.
Was that my theory? I don't
Maybe,
remember
I don't
that
know.
being my theory. I don't remember that.
Let's move on to Fleet Core Technologies. Say on pay was rejected.
Get out.
64% of the vote said no. So there's a win. Let's Builders First Source.
A great name.
Builders First Source.
Ron Swanson name.
Matt, there was a shareholder proposal that was approved. It was one requesting short, medium, and long-term science-based greenhouse gas emissions reduction targets. The woke are winning, right? That's what you're thinking? The woke are winning?
I'm feeling it.
But not so fast. The board, they didn't recommend against this vote. They said, we are actively engaged in implementing our own sustainability strategy. So why the hell not? Yeah, they didn't vote against it. In fact, this is the first time I've ever seen a company, they didn't even make a recommendation. I've never seen this before. They didn't even say they were for it or against it. They just like held up their hands like, I don't know.
That makes that vote worse because you said it was
Why?
60%?
No, it was an overwhelming win.
Oh, it was overwhelming? Oh,
yeah.
okay. Overwhelming.
Yeah.
All right, overwhelming is fine.
So I guess the woke are not winning in this situation because the company agreed to it.
Yeah, that's
I don't know. I'm trying to set up your segment. Here we go.
You're
All
doing
birds.
a stellar job.
All birds. Here's a woke alert. This is definitely a woke alert. Nancy Green was elected to the board. Matt, not only is Nancy a she's a she.
She is.
But
wow.
she's also a green.
Oh, I see what you did there.
But that's a lot of woke.
That's quality content.
Dream Finders Homes. Here's their vote, their say on pay vote. 99.99% voted yes on say on pay. 99.99.
99.9. Who's the 0.01? I actually
yeah.
Look, if you are the 0.01 at Dream Finders Homes who voted against pay, please call us. We want to have you on the show. I want to know why.
I think this is another one that are proving that the woke are winning, right? I guess because
it's
maybe.
everything is proof.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Here's a good one. Blue Apron Holdings. Matt, this company reported fractional shares to the 6th decimal place. You gotta love it. For example, Jennifer Carr Smith received 17,535.909,415 votes.
Yeah. There's
Math
no rounding.
wins. Math wins. And when I was writing this, I was like, there's got to be something going on at this company because they believe in math, they believe in nerddom, and as it turns out, there is something fishy going on at Blue Apron, Matt. 71% of the board is women.
Oh.
Wait. Did you hear me?
I heard
71% of the board is women. Only one white dude at Blue Apron. Only one.
That's
and yeah.
But that has nothing to do with the math. That's my problem.
I think it might.
It doesn't.
I think it might. The CEO is a woman. The chair is a woman. All 3 committee chairs are women. 2/3 of named executive officers are women. I hope the SEC or Stuart Kirk or Senator Steve Daines of Montana is listening because we need an investigation. This is political correctness gone wild.
You might be right about that. We need an investigation.
This is too much.
But when it comes to the votes, it's just because it's fractional shares that are sold mostly on Robinhood.
But you have to respect my Spidey ESG sense because it made me dig deeper to be like, what kind of a company reports fractional shares? And then I found what kind of company. One with only one white dude. Moving on.
With a ton of women. Yes. Do it.
Lululemon Athletica, a report on this is a shareholder proposal. Report on the slaughter methods used to procure down. That's quite a proposal, yeah.
I don't know that I want that report.
The yes vote came in with a resounding 7% said yes. So I guess the woke are still winning. The woke are winning.
The woke are everywhere.
Best Buy, American Eagle, eBay, nothing going on. Caterpillar, the Chicago Mafia, they're moving to Texas. The proposal requesting that the board provide additional disclosure of Caterpillar's climate activity was approved. The woke are winning. They pushed through eco ESG proposal. But wait, Matt. Here's what the company said.
It's too late.
Here's what the company said. The board recommends a vote for the proposal because Caterpillar supports the goals of the Paris Agreement and recognizes shareholders' interest in climate change. So what's going on here? Who do we get mad at here? Can we still be mad at Larry Fink?
I want an investigation into Caterpillar.
Into Caterpillar, yes. This is capitalism gone crazy.
It's the companies
How dare
clearly cannot make their own decisions.
No. And finally, I'm sure that's the adverb you most wait for during all my segments.
It's my favorite adverb during this segment.
G3 Apparel Group, Matt. We have 3 more zombie directors at G3 Apparel Group. 3 directors voted out by over 60% of the vote, but the board said they will not accept the resignations.
Wow. I'm wondering,
they can't do it. They can't do it. Yeah.
We didn't think about the implications, the Twitter implications. If Twitter, one of the larger companies in the world, says no to a director who got voted out.
Egon Durbin. Yeah.
Does that set precedent for if you're G3 Apparel Group for you to just be like, well, Twitter didn't have to accept the resignations. What do we care? Like, why have elections at all?
I don't know.
I mean, every director that gets voted out could just say no.
Matt, it's free speech. Free speech works both ways.
I guess I'm
See
discriminating.
how it works?
I'm discriminating.
3 more
right.
zombie directors. That's the important takeaway there. Go ahead, Matt.
I'm going to give you some missives from the anti-woke to end the show.
I'm ready.
It's a long missive.
Good,
the anti-woke continue to make headlines unabated this week. Senator Steve Daines of Montana sent a letter to HSBC CEO Noel Quinn questioning the reason why HSBC suspended global head of responsible investment. Yes, I said responsible investment. Stuart Kirk was suspended after he publicly live streamed an event in which he said climate change was overrated and he's much more worried about crypto in China. Daines, though, I read the letter.
Yeah.
Really, it's a lovely read.
Fantastic letter.
It's really fantastic. It nicely lays out the anti-woke playbook. Here is your guide in how to anti-woke. Are you ready for that?
I'm so excited.
Here's your guide. Step 1.
Yeah. Go.
Say BlackRock. Alternatively, say Larry Fink.
Okay.
Here's a quote from the letter. It appears to many, that Mr. Kirk's suspension was in response to pressure on HSBC from outside partners. For example, BlackRock, who owns 7.7% of the voting class. Now, he uses the fact that BlackRock owns 7.7%. BlackRock owns 7.7% of every company.
Yeah.
That's not unique, so who cares about that? This is the only quote in the letter of many quotes without a footnote about the legality of what he's talking about, because he says that HSBC, that being influenced by outside parties, they may be legally prohibited from influencing management of your company. But actually, I vaguely remember, isn't owning shares the legal right to influence management of the company? Isn't that what the alternative democracy is?
That's kind of the whole point, right? Isn't
That's
that the
sort
point?
of what you did.
Yeah.
Also, please ignore facts like this article, quote, proxy voters ignore environmental and social issues, finds ESG research by Planet Tracker. So they're not actually voting on those issues for those issues anyway.
This we've known forever. Sorry, Stuart Daines. We already knew this. So Steve Daines.
Steve. Step 2. You ready for step 2?
Yes.
Step 2 is make an enemies list. Here's your quote from the paper. BlackRock and others have made commitments. And then goes on to list Glasgow Financial Alliance for Net Zero, GFANZ, Climate Action 100 Plus, Ceres, Net Zero Banking Alliance. Make sure you list some people so it sounds like there's a cabal. Make an enemies list.
This is the Peter Thiel playbook where he ranted against ESG because it was just a bunch of like woke liberals making enemies lists, and then he made a list of those people who on his enemies list, and then This guy,
He
Steve
said-
Daines, senator from Montana, he's making his enemies list.
It's making just lists. All you're doing,
Lists.
Texas passes a law
Yeah.
making lists of enemies of fossil fuels. Louisiana making lists of enemies of guns. Just make a list and yell at them. Okay, but we're on step 3 because you now
Yeah.
have your list.
Okay.
You've said BlackRock. You've got a list. Then, step 3, accuse them of discrimination.
Ooh.
Quote,
Who would they
as you
discriminate
know,
against? Yeah, this is exciting.
As you know, a key principle of risk management is establishing a culture where dissenting views may be candidly expressed.
Okay.
And, quote, to
Yeah.
the extent that Mr. Kirk's speech implicitly rebuked HSBC's environmental commitments as ill-advised, this should prompt re-examination of your commitments, not silencing for pointing out the emperor has no clothes.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay. I'm going to
They
leave that one.
discriminated against
hanging
Stuart
there,
Kirk
yeah.
for having a dissenting view. That's what they're saying.
Maybe it was the way Stuart Kirk had a dissenting. I mean, he basically went up there and made fart noises under his arm. He could have delivered it in a more professional manner.
Might have also been that he was the head of responsible investment.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
That
part, of it, yeah.
part might have
Yeah.
also played in. Step 4.
Mm-hmm.
State personal views as facts.
Well, this is 2022, Matt. Yeah, I've caught up to that. Yeah.
So now you've said BlackRock, you made an enemies list, you've accused them of discrimination. Now let's say some things as if they were facts, but they're really just views of my own. Net zero mandates, quote, even if net zero mandates weren't exceedingly unpopular, such a policy is technically unrealistic and unattainable. I just say that. Just say it.
Wait, can you parse this out for me? Even if net zero mandates weren't exceedingly unpopular, what's going on here?
He
What
footnotes
is he saying?
a poll from 2012 that says most people don't want to pay for climate change. That's what he's saying.
This is from 2012.
2012.
Okay.
2012. Yes.
And
12.
what was the exceedingly unpopular?
Exceedingly, because 60% at the time, and then cites another poll from later where it says 1/3 of people don't want to pay for climate change. So the number actually goes down, but exceedingly. Just say it. Just say exceedingly.
He's saying it's technologically unattainable. That's a
No
giving
footnote
up.
on that
It's
one.
a
That's
white
no
flag.
footnote. That's
White flag. Here in
straight up.
So
it's not attainable.
American ingenuity, the pride of the great things we have achieved
No.
here in America. We can't do this one.
Can't do it.
We
this
can't.
one's out.
We've been to the moon.
Technologically-
We're done.
Not only is it
We're
unrealistic,
Yeah.
not only are you being
Unattainable.
unrealistic, but it's unattainable. It's
Yeah.
never ever attainable.
No. Okay.
Goes on to say, quote, there's a lack of scientific or public consensus.
Is
And-
that true? Isn't it like 99% consensus at this point? What is the number?
I believe it is
What
scientific
is the number at
consensus.
this point? Yeah, I think we
It's
have
like
that
99.7%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's one
Achieved.
guy.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he conflates the mortgage crisis with the energy transition. He basically just takes two
what?
things, puts them next to each other. He basically says
Okay.
in 2008, like everyone stuck their head in the sands about the mortgage crisis, and now in 2022, you are saying energy transition, but that's just groupthink. He's just saying things.
Well, you
Never
are
saying
talking negatively about a man who has a PhD in economics from Princeton, right?
No, I believe he got an engineering bachelor's and lives in Montana. And
Okay, well,
is just
whatever.
in the Senate.
Whatever.
Either way.
All right, keep going. Keep going.
Then number 5, we're on step 5, because what we've done so far, just to recap, is we've said BlackRock, we've made our enemies list, we've stated, we've accused them of discrimination, our enemies. We've stated all of our personally held beliefs as facts. Now we have to threaten our enemies. Threaten
I like
them.
this. Yeah.
Quote, when the excess of green ideology within financial institutions inevitably leads to financial losses and resulting lawsuits, your action will be evidence of your industry's failure.
Damn. I like the
like a
ideology thing here because we're really starting to get into like the George Soros conspiracy. Whenever you
I like the
drop
idea-
ideology, we're getting somewhere. Bill Gates has horns.
Yeah,
I like this. I like this.
I like the idea that I can have an excess of ideology. Like
That's
like it could be like there's too much
Yeah.
of it. Too much of ideology.
That's what the second urinal is for. Yeah.
Honestly, isn't ideology just a belief system? How can I have too much belief system? Like I just have ideology.
Yeah.
I like excess. And then finally, demand ridiculous answers from your enemies. Here are the requests of the letter. Quote, did BlackRock or any other U.S.-based investor contact HSBC about Mr. Kirk's speech?
This letter is to BlackRock?
This letter is to HSBC.
Oh, to HSBC, of course. Did BlackRock or any other U.S.-based investor?
Or any other, anyone, ever, any U.S.-based investor, any of them. Like a guy named Gus in his garage. Did that guy write you a letter about Mr. Kirk's speech? And if so, describe the contents and actions that resulted from any of those communications.
Is Senator Steve, what's his name? Senator Steve Daines. Is he like Stuart Kirk's agent? Is he like Master P? Who is he? I don't know. What is going on here? I don't understand what's going on here. Is he an employment lawyer? What's happening here? Okay, keep going.
And the second ask was, did HSBC have any contact? Any contact. No time horizon, any contact about Mr. Kirk's speech with anyone on that enemies list at all about the decision to suspend him. Did anyone say anything about Mr. Kirk's speech? And then, if so, describe all contents and resulting actions.
I'm a little bit disappointed in Steve Daines. Shouldn't the argument be rewritten to why do we even have a head of responsible investing in the first place? Shouldn't that be an easier letter?
But that is a letter he can't send. He can't tell a private company not
you can't
to
tell a
have
private company what to do? Oh, you
Turns
can't.
out. When you're not an owner of that company, say of 7.7% of them, which he is not. Side notes here, because that's our playbook. Steve Daines might have to write some more letters because I actually did a little bit of digging.
Good.
And his major PAC donors between 2017 and 2022 include the following companies who made net zero or carbon neutral commitments.
Oh, no. Okay, awkward. Yeah.
UPS, 30,000. Carbon neutral by 2050. Charter Communications, 25,000. Carbon neutral by 2035. Deloitte,
2035.
Yeah. Deloitte, HP, Microsoft. Let me just put it this way. 60% of the PAC donations were from unions and lobbyists. The other 40% that were corporate, nearly half of them have carbon commitments, like carbon neutral net zero. So we're talking about rough estimation, a couple 100,000 that Steve Daines needs to write a check back to them because this is an excess of green ideology.
Yeah.
Also turns out he might be a fanboy of Free Float. He says this in the letter, quote, "It is well established that groupthink can lead to suboptimal, even disastrous outcomes for businesses." He's talking about board sabermetrics, groupthink.
Yeah, that's what we do.
That's what we do.
Yeah, maybe he could buy our product. Actually,
Steve.
Yeah.
Give us a call. You want an enemies list? We'll provide one.
For you, it costs $40 million.
I would look. I'm a capitalist. I'll sell it to anybody.
I'll take $30 million. Yeah.
That's all I got on this. I have some more things, but I'm tired, and I don't think they're.
Yeah, we've done. Once again, we've done too much.
We always do too much. That's. Do you have anything else to add?
No, I'm thoroughly exhausted.
All right, let's go to bed. That was Damian Rallis. I'm Matt Muscardi. We're at Free Float Media. Come back tomorrow for. We're playing. Good game tomorrow. Are we playing a quiz tomorrow?
Well, we're playing some kind of game or quiz or something. To be determined.
Come back tomorrow for a woke anti-woke
I need a
game,
nap first.
hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay. And when we wake up, we'll see you then. Goodbye.